Roland Willett's Old Men Stories. We got to do a lot of planning for us to get to the center of the universe.
Now, when you say planning the future to me, I think I need to have a certain amount of money to retire on. That's the standard definition of planning for a future. And like when they say in the commercials, come to us, we're already finished planning if you want to plan for a future. And I think, oh, I'm 19 and I have barely enough to pay the rent and groceries and food bills and just enough to start paying off the car insurance, things like that, and pay off the car, maybe hard in some future, credit cards to pay off, things like that. Planning for a future when you're that young, who wants to do that? However, my company had this financial consultant come in, and they said, we're giving each of you 15 minutes of our time for free to help plan your future. And I sat down with this guy, and he said, hi, how much are you saving a month? And I said, about 25 bucks. And he said, that's good. At least you're not losing money every month. I said, well, it depends on the month. And he laughed and he said, what if I told you you could make $1 million in 20 years? And I said, you'd be nuts. $25 a month? And he said, well, you're going to get a raise sometime, hopefully. And I said, I would assume so. I hope so. This is my first year on the job. And he said, okay, let's do this. You say that's $25 out of a month. How much is that in terms of your paycheck? And I said, it's about a little under 1%. And he said, could you spend a little bit less every month and save 2%, 50 bucks a month? And I said, I can probably do that. He said, great. Now what I'm going to do for you is going to tell you. Take this 401k form, which a 401k is your financial planning thing. They take the money out pre-tax, not post-tax, and they put it away for you. You can't touch it until you're 65. And I said, I'm 19. That's a long way off. He said, I know. But here's the thing. We invest it for you. We will basically take the money and we'll put it away and we'll try to invest it as best as we can, do it wisely, and we'll just take that 2% every month because that's what you can afford comfortably. And don't worry about it. Just forget about it. We'll do the rest. And I said, I don't know. He said, it's 2%. Just trust me. In a year, come back and you'll have $1,000. I said, 25 times 50 paychecks. That's not too bad of a thing. And he said, now, what if I said I could make you $2,000 on that? I said, that would be impossible. He said, I'll talk to you in a year. A year later, I came back, and he had the records that I'd given him access to, and he said, look, I've made you $1,850. It wasn't quite $2,000, but the market was bad. But the point is that 50 bucks that you were investing post or pre-tax was more like $65. And I took that and multiplied it by a year, and the market went up slightly, and I've almost doubled basically what you thought you were going to make, right? And I said, yeah, you kind of did, but I still can't touch that money until I'm 65, right? He says, you're right, but here's the thing. You can also take out some of that money as a loan against your 401k to buy your first house. You'd like to buy a house, right? And I said, that's a long way off. He said, what if I could tell you might have enough money to buy a house by the time you're 40? And I said, 21 years to make that much money? I don't know. He says, keep putting that 2% in, and I'll see you in 20 years. Or 21 years. And unfortunately, he's since moved on. But literally, I took that 2% and forgot about it. And over time, even through the dot-com crash, that money has kept going. And I now have, I won't say how much I have in there. It's not $1 million. It's certainly not anywhere close, but it's more than my parents have in their 401k. It's more than my parents have in the bank. And it's much more than I have in the bank right now, even though I'm trying to save for a house. The point of the matter is that if I had not gotten started on that route, that $50 a month, I would not have near as much money as I have now. Because the thing about putting money aside and forgetting that it's there, as long as you have a way that's going to build on itself, whether you hire somebody at a company to do it for you, or you just stick it in the bank with interest, it will eventually come back to you when you need it the most, when you're trying to get that future. And I can say at this point, I have nothing on my credit cards. I have no financial liabilities. My college is paid off. My car is paid off. Everything is paid off. So everything that I make is for my future, whatever it may be. And I like having the options when I have them. And that's what I mean by planning for the future.
Coleman Stories returning home. We got our plan developed.